Tempe Gym in Metamora. It is senior night here, and the Redbirds honoring 6 seniors tonight, and we will get you to half of our senior interviews as well as our pregame interview with Coach Wynett, so lots to listen into here on the pregame show. Metamora trying to go for its 10th 20-win season in program history tonight. Should be a fun atmosphere. Hello, everybody. Alex Dobb back on the call. Brad Marshall back on the camera. And hopefully Redbirds feeling good after Saturday's sweep of Morton. And that has them part of a 3-way, 2-loss log jam atop the Mid-Illini Conference. And technically, Metamora does lead by virtue of the sweep over Morton. But the Mid-Illini Conference will not recognize that. So take that with what you will. Obviously, like I said, we got a lot of conversations to get to, so here are our pre-recorded senior player interviews. All right, we return our senior interviews for the first time in 2 years, and we start with Brooklyn Marshall. And Brooklyn, one of the couple questions I want to ask you is just this amazing leap you've made from last year to this year, and what has gone into that. And you know, I know the job's not finished yet. We still got games to play, but what you've kind of seen firsthand out of your game in terms of last year to this year, and I want to bring that a little closer.
Yeah, I just really love the game. It's just really been my drive to keep pushing forward and just to do anything I can to help out the team. Just to have a good, successful season with this amazing group of girls has just been what the motive has been to have a great year.
And you're going to Olivet Nazarene University next year, playing basketball with them. What do you think that'll be like? New team, new situation, obviously the transition from high school to college. Maybe a little mixed emotions of excitedness, maybe a little bit of nerves because you haven't had the college experience just yet. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah, it's a lot of excitement right now. I know the nervousness will come later, but just excited because I've gotten to know the group of girls already, and I really like them. They're so kind and welcoming, and I know I'm going to have a great time with them. Favorite basketball memory from your time here at Metamora? Do you go to Saturday, or does something else top it? Probably Saturday, yeah.
I'm having a feeling that's not going to be the only time we get that answer. But obviously we got an impressive list of 6 seniors this year, so we'll let you go. We'll talk to Elena Redgate next. Continuing our senior interviews with Elena Redgate, and obviously it's been a pretty spectacular year, I would say, to this point. Obviously there's some games that we would have liked to have won that are in the loss column, but speaking as somebody that's been in this program for, 4 years now, what has it been like? Because this senior class is still part of that group that we'll just say maybe the program wasn't in the best shape freshman year, and now you see what it's accomplished senior year. What's that journey been like?
It's been kind of amazing. Like from freshman year, because I moved here, so I obviously wasn't familiar with everyone.
Sure.
And going from that to like being the team that we are today is just, it's really nice to look back on and like see how we're doing now, and it just feels great.
Obviously, I told Brooklyn I'm probably not going to get I'm probably going to get her answer multiple times, but where's that game Saturday rank in terms of your favorite basketball memories at Metamora?
Oh, it's up there. It's up there a lot. Yeah. Because, it was amazing, especially for the second time. Like,
yeah,
beating Morton alone just feels great. And then to do it twice and on their home court, it just felt great.
What would be, and this might be a little bit of a tricky one, I'll let you answer however you want, but what would you think would be a word or phrase that best describes this group of 6 seniors you guys got this year?
A word or phrase? I don't know. I feel like we're all very close together. Like, if one of us goes down, the other one's always there to pick you up. Like, we're very close-knit, I would probably say. I don't know. Close-knit. Well, that's a word.
Well, yeah, it's a hyphenated one-word thing. I'll accept that. Good talking to you. We'll talk to Sydney Beckew next. All right, and we wrap up the pregame portion of our senior interviews with Sydney Beckew. And Sydney, well, I want to start right off the top. Obviously, you haven't been able to play this year with the ACL tear, but I want to ask, and something I saw right away when you knew the outcome of that, the support right away that you had gotten from this team, what's that meant to you in terms of obviously you haven't been able to be on the court necessarily, but to still feel that support and still feel like effectively nothing had happened.
Yeah, I feel like that's been a big part of my recovery. I've been very blessed with the people that have been there for me. Like every day I come into practice, how's the knee, Sid? How are you doing today, Sid? Like it didn't really make a difference if I was playing or not. They all still have my back in some way or form. And after my surgery, 2 days later, the whole team comes to my house. Coach comes to my house. Coach's kids come to my house. And I just felt very loved in that moment. Like everybody had my back.
Is there something maybe in a more fun sense or maybe in a serious sense that you've maybe learned about yourself or improved about yourself either mentally or through the recovery process that you've learned over that time?
I feel like for me, I've learned that God really does have a plan for my life. And even though I can't see it right now, I need to trust in that for sure.
What was Saturday like? I know I kind of keep harping on that with the seniors we've talked to so far, but what was it like to be on that bench, on that roster for a game that people are frankly going to be talking about for years?
It was so exciting. Like I knew I had a different role than I normally would have,
Sure.
but I could still contribute by being positive on the side, and cheer everybody on. And it was just, I was so excited for us that we had that win.
And I'll get into the, I don't want to say X's and O's, maybe a little more technical with this question in that I feel like that's something that really stood out from that Morton game was the bench support. Kind of speak to that and how much that can mean in a game.
Yeah, it was definitely everybody brought so much energy, and I think that definitely played a huge role in the win that night.
Favorite memory from your time here with the program? Do you go back to Saturday, or do you think there's something to top it? Maybe I don't want to kind of put words in your mouth, but maybe the support, the turnaround and support that you've had since your injury, or do you kind of how do you tier that, if you will?
I think they're both up there. Those are both things that I will always remember, having that team support, having my back the whole time, and that big win at Morton, because that is something we've worked so hard for.
Well, Sid, thank you so much for the time, and good talking to you.
Yes, thank you.
Back here in Metamora, and we go from our pregame senior interviews. We talk our usual pregame interview with head coach Kyle Wyanath. Back here pregame with head coach Kyle Wyanath, and Coach, we got to start with this. I think kind of the elephant in the room tonight, not only with it being senior night, but in terms of the X's and O's of the game. We cannot play too high on our horse about Saturday. We're on to the next game.
No, Saturday's behind us, and as much fun as it was to celebrate that for a little bit, that ended on Monday at practice. And, we're full steam ahead on trying to get a win tonight, and that's our focus.
I think the first Pekin game, I don't want to maybe say as far as sloppy, but was one of those games that, yes, we're in the win column, but still maybe not our best basketball.
Yeah, it was, as we go back and we watch that film a little bit, we left quite a few opportunities out there. We went some stretches where we didn't value the ball real well. And so one of the things we talked about yesterday and again today was, can we capitalize on opportunities that we're going to have? And, can we value the ball a little bit more in certain circumstances to try to give ourselves, the best opportunity to really get out quick, but then also give ourselves the best opportunity to create some separation if the game allows it.
Two of their better guards, Zoe Korma, who, if the Mid-Illini had an all-freshman team, probably makes it. But her and then Gracie Kaiser headed to Illinois College. Those two combined had 19 points. You hold them theoretically scoreless. They only score 8 points for the game. So I feel like, what did go wrong probably was with those two offensively. And if you knuckled down on that tonight, we could be in for a fun ball game.
Yeah, we just want to play, once again, really solid defense as best we can. And night in and night out, if we're able to defend the way we like to defend, we feel like that's going to give some teams trouble. And, that's really the only thing that we can try to continue to preach is good, solid defense. And tonight's going to be no different. They've got a couple players that are solid players. And so we're going to do everything that we can in order to be able to try and limit what they do. But at the same time, our focus is going to be on us and trying to play great team defense, try to be great on the ball, great in help side, great in communication, and do as many things well on the defensive side as we can, and we'll see where things fall from there.
We'll try and make this as time efficient but honorable as possible. Obviously, tonight is also senior night. You got a 6 senior class, which is really great to see. And to make sure I talk about every one of them, I'm going to go in numerical order so I don't miss anybody. But we'll start with Katie Lalman-Deer. And I've kind of used this analogy. So at Bradley, our point guard is Tatum Koenig, and the radio guy Ed Hammond has referred to her as the general. I feel like she kind of serves that role for us. Talk about what she's meant to you in this program in your first year.
Yeah, for sure. She's got so much experience. Somebody that's been competing at the varsity level for 4 years, and there's not a lot that she's surprised by. And so, when you got a point guard with that much experience, she's essentially an extension of the coaching staff on the floor, and you always feel like she's going to get us in the right spots, keep us, cool, calm, and collected when we need to be, and be out there to motivate her teammates when they need it too. So she's done a phenomenal job in that role, and I feel like throughout the season she's only continued to kind of grow even more into that role, which, at the beginning of the year, I was satisfied with what she brought to us as a team, and I feel like she's only taken, a few more steps in the right direction, which is awesome for us as a group.
Alyssa Russell, where do you start, especially based off Saturday? There's going to be people talking about that shot, that game for a very long time, but obviously she's not defined necessarily just by that shot. She's served in a pretty great role for us all season and all career, really. She,
this year has been probably our best defender. A lot of nights she draws the other team's best scorer, the best player, and she's rose to the occasion. And, you just can't say enough about her. She just, she's quiet, but she just comes in, she goes about her business, she gets her work done, and she plays her tail off for us. And, we wouldn't be, you can say this probably about every one of the seniors, but we wouldn't be the team we are this year, without the contributions that she brings, especially on the defensive end. But, obviously, without a doubt, the shot on Saturday is a huge piece in terms of a little bit of her legacy, if you will. But, really proud of the way she's defended so far this year.
I'll break my numerical rule because I want to finish with Sydney last for a reason, but we'll move to Brooklyn. And obviously, you're just in your first season, but one thing I think that's really leapt out from her is the jump she made from last year to this year, just that overall improvement, and obviously that's led to a scholarship to play at Olivet Nazarene University next year, a spot on that team. What have you seen out of her this season?
Yeah, she's stayed in the gym. You want to talk about somebody who has really just dedicated herself to trying to be the best basketball player, but also, just the best athlete. Overall development from her freshman year to where she is now is just phenomenal and tremendous growth. But that doesn't happen without her wanting to do that. She's got a tremendous drive, and, she's seized opportunities that she's had this year, and she brings a whole another element to our defense and to our team. Just another awesome kid, very unselfish, extremely hard worker, and a lot of people might be surprised by the success and the results she's had this year based on her prior seasons and flying under the radar. But when the time and the effort and the energy that she puts into it, it's not for lack of that. She's earned everything she's gotten.
Elena Redgate, pretty good player right out of the gate. I remember kind of her first breakout game was the regional final against Kankakee a couple years ago. She had double figures, and that's kind of she was able to take off from there. But obviously she ended up getting hurt at the Ottawa tournament, but then she comes back and almost like she hadn't missed a beat. Kind of talk about what she's meant to you.
She's been huge for us, and a lot of other teams in the Middle Illini, she'd get a lot more opportunities than what she gets for us. And, we've got a lot of talented players, and she's embraced the role that she's had on our team, and we're better for that. But, when you talk about somebody who's come in crunch time and made some huge plays when we needed her the most, Elena's name comes to mind, and whether that's been defensively or whether it's been offensively. So, she's kind of one of those players that can do a little bit of everything for us, and we count on her to do a little bit of everything for us. And, once again, she's another one you put out there, and she goes out on the floor and makes things happen, and none of that surprises us. We get to see it every day in practice, but it's a lot of fun when everybody else gets to see it. But she's been tremendous, and we hope that we can continue to get, major and meaningful contributions from her going forward here.
So Kayla Patia, obviously has, I kind of describe her and some other parents in the conference, even just some folks at ICC who have been curious about her play. I kind of define her as a little bit of a silent killer. You know, she may not necessarily pop right out there, but she's the leading scorer, and she kind of like you were describing Alyssa a little bit, just kind of puts the nose to the grindstone and goes to work.
Yeah, she's been phenomenal. Once again, another awesome career, but just somebody that really embodies what we've tried to teach all year long, which, you know, she doesn't care if she scores a lot. She doesn't care if she scores a little. You know, and she's continued to come out of her shell, you know, from November to where she's at now. You know, I think right now she's hitting her stride and playing some of her best basketball. And so when you think in terms of somebody that's had such a contribution to the program, and to still continue to think that right now they're getting to a point where they're playing some of the best basketball of their career, I think is a testament to her and her willingness to continue to work at it and continue to be coachable, you know, and being a great teammate. So, you know, you almost get to a point where you run out of adjectives and things to describe, but we're so proud of her as a player, but proud of her as an individual and a member of our team. And, you know, kind of the way she plays is really a representation of our whole group. And, you know, sometimes teams can be, you know, on the selfish side. Sometimes they can be too unselfish. And I've been telling, you know, this group all year long, we want to be the right amount of selfish and unselfish. You know, we got to find that as a group. And you know, and she leads the way in terms of unselfish play. There's a lot of times where, like, don't give up a layup for another layup, you know. And so just an awesome person, but couldn't be more proud of what she's been able to accomplish as a Metamora Redbird and as a part of the girls basketball program.
Sydney Beckie obviously hasn't been able to hit the floor since her ACL tear, but I was talking with her, and one really poignant moment that sticks out to me was right after she had found out the official results and that it was a tear and everything, and the support she got instantly, I'm sure meant the world to her. And I'm sure even though she hasn't been able to play necessarily, she still meant the world to the program and the role that she's fit into.
Without a doubt, you know, and such an awesome kid. You can't say enough about just her as a person, you know, and it's not just, you know, when it comes to basketball or it comes to athletics. You talk about just an awesome kid and somebody that you love to have around, and the girls love to have around. And she's a huge part of us. And we told her, you know, from the moment we found out that it was probably going to be the end of her season, you know, she's still a big part of who we are. We've got, you know, 12 roster spots that we started the year with. She's one of those 12. And, you know, our team dynamic changed a little bit because she wasn't going to be suiting up, but it didn't change our whole team perspective in terms of she's still one of us. And, you know, she had an opportunity there before the surgery to have a chance to start a game against East Peoria. And you know, I know she loved that. And our girls rallied around her. And I hope that, you know, when she looks back on it, it's a bummer and it's frustrating when you're injured, but I hope that you know, our teammates have been great teammates for her, and you know, we've tried to support her as best we could as a coaching staff, just because of, you know, what an awesome and quality kid that she is.
What lessons can that teach players, not just this year, but down the road in this program, in terms of mental toughness, that she doesn't let that define her and does as best as possible as in the role that she ended up in? You
know, sometimes in what seemed to be some of the worst times, you figure out really truly how strong you are as a person and as an individual. And, you know, as she gets ready to head off to college, you know, having that confidence in herself that she can overcome a lot of things, I think will definitely serve her well into the future. Well, Coach, we'll let you go, and happy senior night, and let's go get that W. Thanks. Back here in Metamora, getting you ready for tip-off. Metamora, 10th-ranked team in the state, mentioned going for win number 20. 19-3 overall, 8-2 in the Mid-Illini Conference. Pekin, 8-14 overall, 3-6 in the Mid-Illini. This game was supposed to happen what seems like forever ago, way back on January 7th, but Pekin was in the middle of their second COVID pause of the season, so that date had to be altered, and of course the stars aligned, and that's how we ended up playing them today. Today we were originally supposed to play Central Catholic, but obviously the Central Catholic game happened earlier this season. Metamora, also the big headline in all of this is the final game that counts towards postseason seeding. They had the sweep over Morton on Saturday, and obviously that will be looked very highly on, you would imagine, by those deciding the seeding
And then especially if Metamora is able to get a convincing win here tonight, you would imagine that would be looked highly on as well, especially considering maybe we didn't necessarily play our best ball, as Coach Wynath mentioned in the pregame show, and I did as well, when we played these Dragons at Hawkins Gym. So if Metamora is able to turn it around and play better against Pekin in round 2, that obviously would show some growth. And the big thing here is, in a perfect world, Dunlap in the regional semifinal, Notre Dame in the regional championship. But, you know, things are so up in the air. We might be as low as a 3 seed. I don't think we'll be the 1 seed. We might get as high as the 2, but it truly is up in the air in terms of who could get those top 3 or 4 seeds, and a lot to look forward to. I think the seeding deadline is Thursday at noon. I don't know if Mother Nature may impede that at all, but I would assume that technology would allow the seeds to be released in the planned frame of time. Before we get going for a tip-off, here is this year's senior night ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great group of seniors to recognize tonight. A lot of talent, a lot of hard work represented in this group. So we're going to jump right in. First up tonight, please welcome Sydney Pekin. Sydney plans to attend college, major in physical therapy, and eventually open a PT practice. Next up, manager Andy Foster. Andy plans to attend a 4-year university to study kinesiology. Next up, Katie Lalamandir. Katie parents are Laura and Mike Lalamandir, who is supported tonight by Laura Lalamandir. Katie plans to join the ISU nursing program. Next up, please welcome Brooklyn Marshall. Brooklyn plans to play basketball at Olivet Nazarene University, majoring in kinesiology with a concentration in occupational therapy. After college, he plans to use her degree to help kids with special needs. Next up, senior Kayla Patia. Here tonight with Anthony Shetland. Kayla will be attending Parkland College to play volleyball and will then transfer to a 4-year school. Our next senior, Elena Redgate. Here tonight with Krista. Elena plans to attend 2 years at ICC and then transfer to a 4-year university somewhere in Florida. A brilliant move. Next up, please welcome Alyssa Russell. Here tonight with Julie Chandler. Alyssa plans to attend St. Louis University or Southern Illinois University to major in radiation therapy. And a side note, Alyssa also etched her name in Redbird girls basketball history last Saturday, hitting the game-winning three-pointer in Portland with 1.4 seconds to go. Completing Metamora's first sweep of Portland since 2004. Next up, please welcome manager Ian Wallace. For his partner, Kurt Wallace. Ian's future plan is still undecided. We recommend Florida. Once again, a great group of seniors to recognize tonight. Talent, hard work, up and down the line here. Let's hear it one more time for the seniors. President of seniors,
Enter back here, getting you ready for tip-off. Metamora and Pekin will eventually go down to public address announcer Gary Baranowski for the starting lineups and national anthem. The pep band here tonight, as you see there on your screen. Good to have them here. And again, the season's winding down. We only have one more regular season home game scheduled coming up on Saturday, February 5th. We hope. Unless the snowmageddon that we're supposed to get late tonight into tomorrow is even worse than it is, we should be okay for Saturday, but I would imagine that Thursday's game at Limestone is almost certainly not going to happen based on the anticipated weather conditions. And obviously that kind of screws things up because Metamora is in a heated race for the Mid-Illini title. And it could come down all the way to February 8th against Washington at Torrey Gym. So who knows what can happen between now and then. The clock has zeroed off. Well, hasn't officially zeroed off. Now it has. So once the band finishes playing, we will send it down to the floor. And here is public address announcer Gary Baranowski. Here we go, Metamora and Pekin on senior night. Especially for our live audience, hope you're staying warm. Zoe Korma is going to jump for Pekin. I don't think she jumped for them at their place. Brooklyn Marshall for Metamora. And we're underway. Redbirds win the opening tip, again looking for win number 20 on the season. Elena Redgate will start things out. Bounce pass should be, oh, okay. They say still off the Redbirds, so it'll be Pekin ball. Again, Metamora coming off a 38-35 road win over number 4 Morton on Saturday to complete the first regular season sweep of the Potters since 2004. And make things interesting here in the Mid-Illini Conference in the last week plus. 7:33 in the first quarter, first possession for Pekin. Zoe Korma with the ball, had 7 points against us round 1. Leah McClanahan for Korma. Korma, of note, 5 of 8 free throws, part of that 7-point effort against Metamora. McClanahan for Miley Hansen. A little extra applause out of the Redbird faithful, forcing Pekin to exhaust all their options right out of the gate here. Here comes Korma, right into Russell. 2 is no good. Rebound for Lalamandir. Redbirds push. Here's Redgate. Hansen with the defensive pressure, and it's a turnover. 6:52 in the first quarter, still scoreless. Again, last game that counts towards postseason seeding. The deadline is Wednesday at noon. Actually, Thursday at noon, I should say. Korma. 1 in Kaiser. Good defense by Katie Lalamandir, and that's a 5-second closely guarded call. Turnover to Metamora. Tony Ware, part of today's officiating crew, joined by Andrew Braun and Harlan Babcock. Tony Ware was just one of the officials on Saturday of note. I think we've had Harlan before this season. Andrew, we have not. Kayla Patia with the 2 off the right post. Career point number 819, the leading active scorer for Metamora. Of note, Katie Ramage, she's not starting tonight because of senior night, but 6 points away from 600. That's the next closest Redbird, other than Izzy Vanderschaft, to a 100 numeral. In Katie's case, it'd be 600. McClanahan for Hansen on the baseline. 2-0 Metamora, 5:54 in the first. McClanahan for Kaiser, headed to Illinois College next year. McClanahan driving, stops, and traveled. Turnovers early here, and not much offense. 2-0, little over 2 minutes in. Lalamandir runs the point. Elena Redgate baseline drive for Russell. We saw this on Saturday, and she doesn't do it that time. Rebound, that might be off Hansen. Nope, they're going to say off Patia. That, if I'm not mistaken, was the exact play we ran at the end of the game Saturday, and obviously we don't need it to work with 5:30 to go in the first quarter as opposed to, 1.4 to go in the fourth quarter. Kaiser pull up for 3, no good. Rebound for Lalamandir. Here's that fast break pass. Patia, right post, too strong. Rebound to Kaiser. Looks like Russell might have gotten in there, but it must have slipped off her. 5:02 in the first quarter, still stuck on a number, 2-0 Metamora. Korma with it. Trying to get past Lalamandir, does with the help of a screen, but then runs back into her, and they're going to call the foul on Katie. That'll be her first, team's first, and something that Metamora did maybe a few too many times. They send Zoe Korma to the free throw line. First of 2 shots for Korma on the way, and no good. 32 is Lexi Kessler, a junior for Pekin. Didn't start, but did play all 4 quarters in the game in Pekin. Dragons looking for their first point. Second free throw for the freshman, Zoe Korma. Makes that one. 2-1 Metamora, 4:50 in the first quarter. Russell mid-range pull-up, bounces around and in. 4-1, 4:44 in the first. McClanahan at the point for Pekin. Kaiser off the screen from Kessler. Now here comes McClanahan, has space, two no good. Marshall deflects it back off of Patia and into McClanahan. If KP hadn't been collecting herself there, then probably would have been able to make that work, but obviously tough luck situation there. 3 ball for Kaiser is no good. Rebound Marshall. Redbirds wanted to push, but aren't going to be, well, maybe they will. Here's Marshall, right post, lost it for a second. Russell for Redgate, 3 ball, no good. A rebound for Zoe Korma as Kessler goes down. Korma driving, not messing around this trip. Kessler from the free throw line is good. 4-3, 3:48. Patia open right post, does get contact. Rebound, Marshall gets bopped in the face, I thought. 2 is good anyway. Brooklyn Marshall with the bucket. 6-3, 3:36 in the first quarter. Vanderstraff and Ramage will enter next dead ball. I should add, a couple of years ago, I can't remember what senior class it was, but all of our seniors scored our respective points of the game and split them evenly. We're on track for that right now. Russell, Patia, and Marshall, 3 of our seniors, have the first 6 points. Lawmandeer travels, and that's a turnover. Izzy Vanderstraff and Katie Ramage sub in time for the mask timeout. 3:17 to go in the first quarter. Metamora 6, Pekin 3. Alex Staub back with you here in Metamora. Redbirds out of the mask timeout with a 6-3 lead, trying to move within a half game of Morton and Washington. Technically, Washington has the apparently non-existent tiebreaker over Metamora by virtue of their 1 win, and then Metamora has the, again, officially non-existent tiebreak over Morton with the regular season sweep. Miley Hansen, and I guess Morton swept Washington, so then Morton would have the tiebreak over them, but again, apparently no tiebreak under Mid-Illini policy, which I'm sure frustrates a lot of people from the schools involved in the potential tie. Hansen tries to find Kaiser, tried to save it, but right to Katie Lalamandir. 6-3 Metamora, 2:35 in the first. Here's Ramage, who traveled. Not a lot of offense. Let's see, I'm kind of curious now. Well, first quarter was 12-2 in Pekin, so we'll see what happens here. 6-3 Metamora at the moment. Gracie Kaiser. Good defense from Lalamandir, cuts off the option for Korma. Here's McClanahan now, gives for Korma. Nice defense again by Katie. Korma nearly pushing off. Here's McClanahan for 3, got it. Pekin ties it at 6, 2 minutes in the first quarter. Lalamandir for Patia. Fakes for Ramage, goes Vanderstraff. How about Lalamandir past McClanahan? Corner 3, Ramage on the way, got it. Katie Ramage makes her 13th 3 of the season, and Metamora takes a 9-6 lead. Breaks our run of seniors with the first 3 baskets for Metamora. Kaiser thought about pulling up. McClanahan easy drive and 2, and they call late foul. On Ramage, that's her first, team second. Ashley Davis subs in for Pekin. Brooklyn Marshall come back in for Kayla Patia. And Cam Youngquist will sub in for the Redbirds as well. One shot for McClanahan, has 5 of Pekin's 8 points here in the opening quarter. Trying to tie it. Free throw on the way, no good, wide right, and a rebound for Ramage. 1:24 in the first. Katie quickly up floor. You could kind of tell. Oh my goodness, how'd that even go in? But you could kind of tell from the onset that she kind of had her head down and she was going for that bucket right out of the gate. 11-8 Metamora, 107 in the first. Kaiser up top for Davis. Kaiser a couple games ago hitting 10 threes in a game, and Ramage was just playing defense there. Gets called for her second foul. And again mentioned, Ramage had 2 fouls in the first half against Morton. Knock on wood, hopefully a repeat of that Morton game, because after those 2 first half fouls, didn't foul again. 11-8 Metamora, under a minute to go in the first. McClanahan defended by Youngquist. Karma, Kaiser thought about the baseline cut. Now, well, she's still going to hold off on it. Karma, I heard a bit of a hack from up here. Down to 38 seconds in the quarter. Kessler for Karma. Kaiser can't give her a whole lot of space, mentioning that 10 three-pointer game. Down to 28 seconds and a 3-point lead. McClanahan. 20 seconds. Kaiser for Kessler. Cutters at the free throw line, and we have a scoreboard outage. It's usually not a super long-term issue, and I see we got it up and running because at least Randy Tepke's panel, there we go. Now the officials will try and figure out how much time is on the clock. I like how Gary acknowledges that. Official timeout for PA announcer unplugging the clock. And so they'll reset it. 7.7, no, 20.7, I was going to say. 20.7 on the clock, 11-8 Metamora. Karma inbounds for McClanahan. A little bit of a miniature timeout there. Down to 13 seconds. McClanahan, a senior, had 3 points, already over that here in the first quarter. I should say 3 points first time around. Kaiser for 3, no good. Deflects out for Lalamandir. Got to push if you want to get something off. From three-quarter court, Lalamandir, no good. And we head to the second rather, with a slim 3-point lead. Alex Staub back with you here in Metamora. Redbirds holders of a slim 11-8 lead after the opening 8 minutes. It'll be their ball to begin the second quarter. Alyssa Russell, Katie Lalamandir. They correct it and say Pekin ball. Kayla Patia, Cameron Youngquist, and Brooklyn Marshall, the 5 on the floor for Metamora. Pekin will send out Emily Matthews, Leah McClanahan, Gracie Kaiser, Lexi Kessler, and Sammy Diekoff. So Emily Matthews, a new entry out of the quarter for Pekin. Again, 11-8 Metamora after the first quarter, game 23 of the 2021-22 season. Not that many left. Matthews for McClanahan for Kaiser. 7:30 in the second quarter. Here is Matthews. Kessler quickly from McClanahan, back to an open Matthews. 3-ball is well short. Rebound Kessler, throws it right to McClanahan, who could have turned around and pulled up if she wanted to. 7:15 in the second quarter. Dragons could tie with a 3-ball, but obviously this early in the game don't necessarily need it. Kaiser for McClanahan, now Matthews. Baseline is Diekoff, up top McClanahan. Has trouble with it for a second, but able to corral it before a potential over and back call. Corner 3 is good for Sammy Diekoff. Tied at 11, 6:48 in the second quarter. Not a good defensive start for Metamora. I know it was a single-digit scoring quarter, but obviously not near as good as things were in Pekin. Russell drop pass for Patia. Tips it for Marshall. Youngquist through her hands. Up top for Lalamandir. Crossover on McClanahan and another turnover. This is not a good start. Yep, I thought I could tell kind of just looking at the mannerisms of Kyle Wyneth that a timeout might be coming here. 30-second timeout with 6:26 to go in the second quarter. And again, you know, even though this may not have the flair of a Metamora-Morton game or a Metamora-Washington game, it holds major significance with postseason seeding because Metamora already kind of got a little bit of a thorn in their side with the loss at Dunlap. If they lose this game tonight, that might still bump them down to the 5 line, I think, which would likely mean Notre Dame and Morton coming here. The one thing we do know is we wouldn't get Peoria High because Peoria is the other regional host. That's the only team that we know for sure is not coming here. Everything else at this point, especially after the win on Saturday, is up for grabs. McClanahan for Kaiser, 6:15 until half. Tied ball game. McClanahan. Good defense by Katie. McClanahan regathers for Matthews. 6:02 until half. Here is Diekoff. Kaiser. Off the screen from Kessler. Flips it up. No good. Rebound for Patia. 5:50 until half. Still tied. Marshall for Youngquist. Cross-court Russell. In the corner is Lalamandir. Trying to break this tie here. And again, a little bit of a slow offensive start here. Lalamandir across for Marshall. Driving in, flips it up, past Kaiser, 2 is good. Brooklyn Marshall, 4 points here in the first half, 13-11 Metamora. 5:23 until half. McClanahan, Brooklyn almost got the steal there. Kaiser driving baseline, 2 is short, gets her own rebound, threw an elbow at Alyssa, then gets into a jump ball with Katie Lalamandir, arrow to Pekin. Arrow to Metamora, I should say. Elena Redgate, Izzy Vandeschraff back in. And Pekin. Oh, Korma. Send in Korma. Returned her to the lineup. 13-11 Metamora, 5:04 in the second quarter. Vandeschraff for Redgate. Cross for Lalamandir. Wants to go down low for Patia. Goes up top for Russell. Lalamandir pass for Redgate, too high, out of bounds. It'll be another turnover. Redbirds definitely want to improve in that department, just looking at these first few minutes. I'm not ready to reference last Thursday yet, but if it continues, it might come up. Matthews for Kaiser. 4:33 until half. Matthews for Korma. Keeping it out on the perimeter for now. Kessler goes down there. Watch the baseline. Korma goes out to the left wing, running baseline. Matthews down to 4:19 until half. Too much space for Kaiser. 3 is short. Rebound off Matthews. Yep. Good call there. Metamora ball. 4:13 until the half. 13-11 Metamora. Katie Ramage, the leading scorer right now with 5 points, but she's on the bench with 2 fouls. Coincidentally, also what happened against Morton. Redgate, cross-court pass for Russell. Shot fake and drive. Here comes Redgate. Cutting in is Vandeschraff. Patia is bumped by Kaiser. No whistle. Reached in again. No whistle. Lalamandir, that time no reach. Russell for 3. Got it. Alyssa with 5 points now as well. Metamora in front 16-11, 3:36 until halftime. Korma handoff for Kaiser down to the 3:30 mark. Kessler sets up for the screen. Rolls down to the post. Ooh, Korma almost lost it. Doesn't have her dribble. Goes for McClanahan, who traveled. Turnover to Metamora, 3:16 until the half, and we will have our masked timeout. 3:16 until the half, Metamora 16, Pekin 11. Back here in Metamora, 3:16 to go until halftime. Alyssa Russell will have the sideline inbound out of the masked timeout. I don't think there were any entries for, well, Miley Hansen will get her first second quarter minutes for Pekin, but other than that, I think everybody's clear. Walleman for Redgate. Now Russell. Patia, nice pass, counted in the foul. Foul is on 25. That's Emily Matthews, her first foul of the game on Pekin. Ashley Davis in for the Dragons, and Kayla Patia will attempt one free throw. Free throw, got it. 3-point play for KP. Now we have a three-way tie atop the Redbird scoring. 19-11, under 3 minutes to go until the break. Zoe Korma. I was mentioning with Kyle Wyneth, if there was an all-freshman team, if they treated the high school conferences like a lot of the collegiate conferences, you'd imagine Zoe Korma a contender for a spot on the all-freshman team. Obviously not too many freshmen are going to get minutes at this level, but Korma, at least the way she looked against us the first time, certainly worthy of it. Only 1 point right now, but a lot of basketball to be played, and that's what happens when you start talking about a player. Korma, 2 is good, and then did she just reach in on that? No, not her, McClanahan. Leah McClanahan, her first, team second. I was marking the basket down on my scorebook. Walleman will run the point. Redbirds by 6, 2:18 until the break. Alyssa Russell for Izzy Vandeschraff. Katie Walleman, Kayla Patia, here's Russell in the corner. Drop pass for Redgate, tough shot, 2 is good. Elena Redgate gets her first bucket of the game. Redbirds up 8. See if we can get it to double figures here before the half. A challenge that Metamora was able to achieve against Morton a couple times on Saturday before the Potters, of course, made that furious rally in the fourth quarter. I'd have to see here. 15-9 in the fourth, but 24-18 in the second half overall in favor of Morton. McClanahan trying to drive on Walleman, hasn't done so too successfully yet, and that's a foul on Redgate. Yep. Bumped into Ashley Davis, and Davis goes down, so that'll be foul number 1 on Elena, team's 4th. Brooklyn Marshall will sub in and replace Izzy Vandeschraff. Zoe Korma with the baseline inbound for the Dragons. Kaiser, tough shot, no good. Rebound for Marshall. Oh, we got an injury, I think. Davis is hurt, holding on to her stomach. Yeah, you can't stop a live ball like that. Yeah, Metamora rightfully so upset about that. And of course Pekin's happy about that. I get that she's injured, but you can't stop a live ball like that. Oftentimes when you do see an injury happen, you'll see him finish off that current possession and then call the timeout. Patia for Marshall, cutting his Redgate, 2, rolls in. 1 minute to go until half, 10-point lead. See if we can extend it a little more. Kaiser, that's a double dribble. Yep. Turnover to the Redbirds, 52.1 until half. Again, especially for our live audience. Hope you're tuning in somewhere warm. Even if you're tuning in from around the area, somewhere inside. Patia from Russell, 2 is good. 7 first half points for KP. 25-13, 35 seconds until half. McClanahan for Kaiser. Likely the last possession offensively for Pekin. In the first half, anyway. Korma takes a peek at the clock. And see here, Korma drives in, 2 is strong, and that's a foul. Multiple fouls, Hansen and Korma all over Brooklyn Marshall. Russell bounce pass for Redgate, open for 2. Elena Redgate, 6 first half points, 14-point lead at the half. 27-13, your halftime score.
Maybe tomorrow is gonna be a perfect day. Maybe tomorrow it'll be a perfect day.
Back here in Metamora, and I was just telling Brad before we came on, obviously the weather's getting pretty bad tonight already, it sounds like. We just had a power flicker out in the hallway, so maybe have a, I'm not a pessimist like this, but got to keep your eye out for a potential power outage in the second half if the ice is getting as bad as it sounds like. Anyway, halftime stats, Pekin, Leah McClanahan, 1 foul, 7 points. Zoe Kormo, 3 points. Sammy Dekoff, 3 points. Lexi Kessler, 2 points. For Metamora, Katie Lalamandir, 1 foul, scoreless. Alyssa Russell, 1-2, 1-3, 5 points. Kayla Patia, 3 twos, 1 of 1 at the line, 7 points. Katie Ramage, 2 fouls in the first half, 1-2, 1-3, 5 points, 1 point from 600. Brooklyn Marshall, 2 twos, 4 points. And Elena Redgate, 6 points on 3 twos. Metamora, a 16-point second quarter following their 11-point first to give them 27 at the half. And Pekin with a 5-point quarter to give them 13 at the half. And obviously, as the paraphrased saying from the Hunger Game goes, the odds aren't necessarily always in your favor when you have 2 single-digit scoring quarters, but this deficit could very easily be made up, as we learned on Saturday. Obviously, I don't think we ever got up to 14 against Morton, but we were up enough that there was reason for confidence, and the Potters quickly made that up. Dragon basketball to begin the third quarter. Zoe Korma, Leah McClanahan, Sammy Dekoff, Gracie Kaiser, Miley Hansen. So they've gone with starters. Hansen, almost stolen by Redgate. McClanahan open on Lalamandir, no good. A rebound, Lalamandir. Redbirds go with Lalamandir, Russell, Patia, Redgate, and Marshall. So that's everybody, starters. Redgate for 3, got it. Elena Redgate with 9 points here on her senior night, 30-13. Redbirds honoring 6 seniors tonight. I'd have to go back and look, so I'm in my 8th season for those of you that don't know. I think in that time frame, I think that's the largest senior class we've had. I think we've gotten as high as, what the heck is that? There's no place for that. That was a blatant kick and a shove. No whistle. And again, when you could potentially cause harm, that's, had they actually called it, you could have argued for a flagrant or something of that nature. Contact or not, the intent was there. Kaiser up top for Hansen, back to McClanahan. Kaiser driving, and Patia deflects it out of bounds. It'll stay Pekin ball. Next game for Metamora. Your guess is as good as mine. We're supposed to play at Limestone on Thursday, but I would imagine that game you might as well postpone it already. But the next game I think should happen on schedule is Saturday, hosting Pekin. Korma spins in for McClanahan, 6:46 in the third. Marshall and Redgate. Well, Redgate's kind of shoving her way through there. They aren't calling it. We'll take it, though, if they aren't going to call it. Patia down floor for Redgate. Korma, too much defense there, and it's a turnover for Pekin. McClanahan for Kaiser. Down to 6:28 in the quarter. Spin move for Hansen. McClanahan down to 6:22. Hansen, baseline left. Works it up for Korma, running baseline left here is Dekoff. 3 is on the way and no good. Rebound deflects for Lalamandir. Redbirds have numbers, but they got to push. Redgate, and now things even out. Lalamandir, baseline drive for Russell. Draws the defender, 2 is no good. Marshall deflects it to herself. Hacked by Korma, and they say on the floor. I mean, yes, it was a wild shot, but it was a shot attempt. Korma, her first, team's first. 30-second timeout Pekin before the inbound. 5:56 in the third quarter. And let's see here. That last foul on Korma, just the third foul of the game on Pekin, but again, Metamora's only been called for 4, so knock on wood if you're a fan of either team, a fairly cleanly called game so far. After the Metamora Dunlap game, good lord. 21 fouls called on Metamora, 22 fouls called on Dunlap for a combined 43. Not so fun fact, the second most fouls I've seen called in a game in person. There was a Bradley-Milwaukee women's game a couple years ago that had 50. Inbound pass is stolen away by Zoe Korma. Bounce pass is almost stolen by Ramage. Russell tosses it to Hansen. That's a foul. Yep. Brooklyn leaned in there, a little too much contact for her first. Team's 5th. And Miley Hansen will shoot 2. Had 1, 2, and 2 points in the game in Pekin back on January 20th. First free throw is no good, and Lexi Kessler returns, replacing Sammy Dekoff. 30-13, 5:48 in the third quarter. One more free throw for Hansen. It's good. Her first point of the night. 30-14. Katie Ramage back into the game for Alyssa Russell. Shot fake and drive, pull up on Hansen, can't get it to roll. Maybe a near foul from behind. Pekin with the rebound. Korma for McClanahan, now here's Kaiser. Hansen. And Katie Ramage 1 point away from 600 for her career. The next Redbird likely to cross a 1,000-point threshold, or not 1,000, a 100-point threshold of any kind. Kaiser for Korma. Has space, goes for McClanahan. Drives past Patia. Patia goes for the block, no whistle, rebound Lalamandir. It's a lot of contact. Well, I mean, what else do you expect? There have only been 8 fouls combined between both teams for the game, so, I mean, I guess knowing that, you're not surprised. Good news for Pekin fans, Ashley Davis back in. Remember, she went down with, I don't know what she went down with, but she was holding on to her stomach, and the officials illegally stopped the game, but obviously Davis, the good news is she's okay. Kessler deflected, and here's Ramage one-on-one with Kessler. 2 on the left post with contact, and 1. There's 600 for Katie Ramage, and she'll attempt a 3-point play. Second foul of the half on Pekin, and it's charged to Lexi Kessler. And 1 shot for Katie Ramage. Free throw is good. 602 points on the junior's career. One of a couple starting softball players on this roster. The Redbirds just announced as receiving votes in the opening ICA softball poll. Kaiser for Hansen. Ramage bit it and ended up almost getting the steal, but it's right back to Hansen. And now Ramage has the rebound. In fact, let me see here. Ramage for Russell. We got 3 softball starters on the floor right now. Russell at first base, Patia in left, and Ramage in center. Ramage backing down, bounce pass for Patia. Tough pass, but KP's open and misses the bunny. Pekin with it now. Miley Hansen for Gracie Kaiser. Ashley Davis off the screen. Gives for Hansen. Traveled. She might be hurt. I don't know. I think she's just frustrated with the turnover. I don't think she's necessarily hurt. Izzy Van de Schraff will come in and after the mask timeout. 3:36 to go in the third quarter. Metamora 33-14. Back here in Metamora, 3:36 to go in the third quarter. A 33-14 lead for the Redbirds. Trying to accomplish the 10th 20-win season in program history. They've done it, well, you know, if I want to be technical and not count the COVID season because there weren't even 20 games, it would be 3 seasons in a row. Oh! Whoa! Travel?
2 steps.
She's done that all year, and that's the first time it's been called a travel.
That's a travel.
Matthews gives back for McClanahan. I don't know about that. Matthews driving, Van de Schraff straight up. Matthews gets the 2. 2 is good, 33-16. Redgate for Ramage, baseline drive on Kaiser, deflected, that's off Pekin. How is that not a deflection? I mean, unless you got arm, but then it's a foul on Metamora, or then it's a foul on, like, something's got to be called there. It's either deflection out of bounds or a foul because the arm was held to cause that pass to go out of bounds. Kaiser, no good. Rebound deflects for Izzy Van de Schraff, 2:46 in the third. Here's Redgate. Ramage. Turnaround 2, tough shot, rolls it in. 35-16, 2:33 in the third. Ramage in double figures now. Coach Ryan Davis goes out and gets a errant mask on the floor. I think it's Ramage's. Yep. McClanahan driving, pass is deflected. Ramage for Lalamandir. Lalamandir, that's carry. Yep. She kind of got it lodged on her side. Zoe Korma for Leah McClanahan. Young lineup, kind of, for Pekin. They got a sophomore and a freshman. Korma the freshman, Hansen the sophomore. Then a reach-in foul on Lalamandir, and all of a sudden we're calling those. Her second, team second, and I say that because as Cam Youngquist replaces Brooklyn Marshall. To this point of the game, hardly anything's been called. I think we had, 4 combined fouls at halftime between both teams? And now we got 4 here in the third quarter alone. Kaiser for Kessler. For Korma. 2:01 in the third. Here's Kaiser for 3, no good. Good no call on the over the back, and they say Redgate got contact. It's definitely not on Ramage. Shouldn't be anyway. Yep. Redgate her second. Team's third. I think Katie might have thought it was on her, and there definitely would have been some uproar if it was, because although she was by the play, she was not in on the play. Ashley Davis at the line, her first is good. Alyssa Russell for Elena Redgate. 35-17, 1:58 in the third. Davis one more. Second free throw, no good. Rebound, Youngquist. .150 in the third, 35-17. Russell driving. 2 with contact, no good. Rebound for Matthews. Matthews down floor, stolen away, Lalamandir. Fouled by Kaiser. Well, I mean, I guess if they're going to call it on us, call it on Pekin, and they do. Kaiser, her first, team's third. Patia subs in and replaces Van de Schraff. It's the confusion here at the table. Do you know what that would be about? Whatever it is, everything's fine. 1:30 to go in the third. Redbirds by 18. Lallem Deer with Korma on her. Ramage. Got to watch the fouling there on Davis. Thank you. May not be on Davis, but there was definitely enough contact there. Kessler, her second. KP will shoot 2. First one is good. Leah McClanahan and Miley Hansen sub in for Pekin. So basically an all-guard lineup. Pasia's second free throw is good. 20-point lead, 37-17, 1:13 in the third. McClanahan for Matthews. Up top, Korma. Driving. Threads the pass. Oh, okay. I don't know about a travel, but they call it. Turnover to Metamora, 1:02 in the third. Under a minute. Here's Lallem Deer, kick out for Youngquist. Bounce pass, Patia. 50 seconds. Russell thought about the three, trying to drive past Hansen, goes Youngquist, open three ball, got it. Cam Youngquist, her first points of the game. 40-17 nearing the end of the third quarter here. And also nearing running clock, 7 points away from that. Matthews for Korma. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. Potentially had the baseline cut there for Miley Hansen. Here's Korma. A tough take, 2 is no good. Rebound Davis. Put back, no contact. Good, no call. Rebound for Alyssa Russell. Handoff for Patia. For Youngquist. Lallem Deer driving. Good hesitation on Hansen, rather. Russell, three ball, got it. Her second three of the night. Third three of the quarter for Metamora. And it's a 26-point lead headed to the fourth. Back here in Metamora, start of the fourth quarter. Redbirds with a 16-point quarter to give them 43. Pekin with a 4-point quarter to give them 17. Redbirds again, 4 points from running clock. Katie might have carried there. Get it? It's a family joke if you've known the Lallem Deers for long enough. Carrie, the older sister of Katie, of course. Traveling turnover to Pekin. And by the way, I mean it's 110% honestly. I did not even do that on purpose. that was pure accident. Hansen for Korma for Pekin. McClanahan for Hansen. Handoff for Kaiser. Drive on Redgate, straight up, no whistle, good no call, rebound for Marshall. Near travel. Lallem Deer for Patia. Inside Marshall, 2 on McClanahan rather, is no good but a foul. Call it on McClanahan, her second, team's 5th, and Brooklyn Marshall will shoot 2. 43-17 the score, 40 seconds into the fourth quarter. First free throw, got it. Nearly a swish. I think it might have just clipped the back of the rim. Sometimes, you get that perfect swish depending on the type of basket. You'll hear that click from the rim. And the swish of the net, of course. Marshall, second one, no good. Rebound for Kaiser. Ramage will sub back in, next dead ball. Lydia Powell in for Pekin. And we got an offensive foul called on Lexi Kessler. Ramage subs in for Patia. Now, Brad, what happened there on that charge? Do you know? Illegal screen or illegal screen? Okay, thank you. 44-17, 7:02 in the fourth quarter. Volunteer drive for Redgate. Here's Ramage elbow jumper. No good. Easy rebound. Brooklyn put back with contact. No whistle, but she gets the shot anyway. 1 point from running clock. 6:46 to go. And running clock probably especially important tonight. And no dig for our friends at Pekin in any way, as McClanahan too is no good. Rebound Marshall. It allows the Dragon faithful to get home as soon as possible as well. Obviously, they'd want a better outcome, but still. Marshall, no displacement, I should say. So good no whistle there. Rebound for Pekin. They're down 29 with 6:13 to go. McClanahan, that's travel, is it not? 3 is no good. Rebound for Ramage. Lalamandir up front all on her own, and there is running clock. Katie Lalamandir, and Kyle Weina says, I don't want the running clock just yet, and calls a timeout right after the bucket. It'll be a 30, and I think he might make some substitutions judging on the high five on Alyssa. 30 with 6:03 to go. Of course, some of you might have seen the video on social media of Kyle getting a little bit of a water bottle shower in the locker room at the Potter Dome after the sweep on Saturday. He's looking for his 20th career win. Obviously in his first season, mirroring the overall record of the Redbirds. And I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I don't know if any coach in program history has... I'm kind of losing my mask here, my bad. I don't know if any coach has won 20 games in their first season in program history. Kaiser 3 is no good. Rebound Vandeschraff. Ramage going to be a tough take. Hansen's on her. Wild shot. Gets in! Ho-ho! Katie Ramage counted in the foul. Foul is on Allie Lamb for Pekin, her first, team 7th. Lane Jackson and Ella Stivers, and here come a pair of seniors, Redgate and Marshall. Three-point play attempt forthcoming for Katie Ramage. Again, running clock the rest of the way here. Free throw, got it. As Gary Baranowski also indicates, 5:07 in the fourth quarter. Without Charlie Dreyer and Todd Peterson tonight, Kaiser 2 is no good. Rebound Youngquist. I'm told they're working a junior high basketball regional. Postseason time, they always make it a great atmosphere there at Germantown. Ramage with it for the Redbirds. Kick out Youngquist. Here comes a 3-ball, a little short, and that's off Izzy. Yep. Pekin ball, 4:40 to go as the clock continues to run. And the, I think, return, did she play at Dunlap? The return of Mallory Bennett. This is her first game back since an ankle injury at Ottawa. Allie Lamb with the basketball for Pekin. Drop pass for Hansen. 4:10 to go. Here's Lamb, a 3-ball. She got it. Pekin's first points of the fourth quarter make it a 31-point game. McClanahan trying to, well, almost makes it look like she's trying to foul. Stivers for Vandeschraff. Cross for Jackson. Driving on Kaiser, lost it, but right to Stivers, but Ella was out of bounds on the baseline. Sierra Sitter in for Pekin, along with Sammy Diekoff. Mask timeout, 3:33 in the fourth quarter. Redbirds by 31, 51-20. Alex Staub back with you here in Metamora. Again, running clock the rest of the way. Pekin basketball, Lydia Powell with it. Carried the ball and a turnover to Metamora. Shaylin Terry in for Metamora. See, am I missing anybody else in terms of new entries? Nope. Here's Lane Jackson, defended by Miley Hansen. Ella Stivers with it now. Terry for Bennett, 2:50 in the fourth. Bennett pass is stolen. This is Allie Lamb for Pekin. Up top for Sierra Sitter. Driving right side, kick out for Lamb. Baseline 2 is no good. Rebound Youngquist in trouble. Gets it away for Shaylin Terry. Terry drives for Stivers. Bounce pass back for Youngquist. Here's Terry. Pass is deflected and stolen by Lydia Powell. Carried the ball, no whistle. Bennett two on Bennett is no good. Rebound deflects back to her, gives it off for Lamb. 2:10 in the fourth, we're up 31. And Pekin calls a 30-second timeout for substitution. 2:05 to go. Let's see if I can pull up my text from Kyle Wyanath, because we had a set 3 seniors we talked to pregame, and we will talk to Katie Lalamandir, Kayla Patia, and Alyssa Russell after the game. Finally going to get to interview Kayla. I've kind of teased her a little bit. She, isn't exactly of the interviewing type, but finally got her to do some news interviews this season, and so we're going to get to talk to her along with Katie and Alyssa after the game. Dalen McFarland, Carly Williams in for Pekin. Other than that, I don't think anybody's a new entry. Mallory Bennett. Come on, Mal. 2 is good. Mallory Bennett for 2, 53-20 with 1:10 to go. Cowbell makes you think we're out at Malone Field. 3 ball for Dekoff, easy. She gets her second one of the game. Metamora, by the way, they just announced for football, will open the season at Peoria Stadium, playing week 1 against Peoria High. 3 ball for Bennett, no good. Rebound, Lane Jackson. Lane for Cam, mid-range is good. 55-23, win number 20, 40 seconds away. Sammy Dekoff for Carly Williams. Now here's Lamb. Metamora has not scored this many points since the 76-19 win over East Peoria. Oh, got to be careful, Cam. Really wants that steal. Goes past Williams, saves it from going out of bounds. Tries to throw it off Stivers, ends up working out as a bounce pass to her teammate. Loose ball, Stivers and Williams get into a jump ball, and that will do it. Oh, I guess they hold the clock for that. Not sure why. I thought it was only timeouts and injuries, but whatever. 3.1 to go. Pekin inbound. Williams, no, it's Lamb. And that is going to be your final score here on senior night. Metamora gets its 20th win of the season, the 10th 20-win season in program history. They hold Pekin to 4 single-digit scoring quarters and come away with the 55-23 win. For TV, we'll be back with head coach Kyle Wyanath and our final 3 seniors. Back here post-game and continuing the second half of our senior player interviews with Alyssa Russell and Alyssa. Kind of one of the things I was talking with pregame, I believe Elena was kind of this ride that this program has been on over these last couple of years, and obviously being a major part of it, what's kind of that journey been like, and could you have even thought coming into high school freshman year than that this program would become what it's turned into by your senior year?
No, it's been great all these 4 years. I'm just so grateful to have such great teammates that I've been able to play with since even 3rd grade, and we've just really grown together, and I think that's what makes our team so good now.
Yeah, kind of speak to that, because obviously a lot of you are from the same junior high with the exception of Brooklyn and Elena, but kind of talk about what that does mean to kind of have that effectively lifelong chemistry, and especially on a senior night, no less.
Yeah, we've been playing with each other for so long. We all just know each other's games, and I think that's why we work so well together, and it's just bittersweet, you know. This is our last year all playing together since we've been playing together for so long, but yeah, it's been great to just have these kind of teammates.
Favorite basketball memory? I think you might say that shot on Saturday. I don't know if you can top that. Maybe a regional championship here in a couple weeks. That might top it.
That would top it. But
obviously, we got to get past a couple more games, but I'm sure that's at the top right now, right?
Yeah, it is.
What about that shot, or maybe about the game in general, do you think you'll remember the most years and years down the road?
The game? Honestly, just like how we had the lead like the whole game.
Yeah.
We were ahead of Morton the whole game, and then just to have that shot at the end just to really pull it all together, that's something I'll always remember.
Well, Alyssa, thank you so much for the time, and congratulations on a senior night. Well done, and obviously the W as well.
Thank you.
We'll talk to Kayla Patia next. Back here post-game, continuing our senior interviews with Kayla Patia. And Kayla, kind of the one question I've been asking a lot of our seniors is you've kind of seen how this program has gone from, maybe that bottom tier or middle tier to being one of the best teams in the conference. What's that ride been like for you?
It's been great overall. These last 4 years, we've just worked really hard in practice to, improve on some of the things that we weren't as successful in the past years.
What? Go ahead.
Oh, that's it.
Obviously, you got a real good taste of postseason success with the volleyball program this fall. Knowing the potential that this program has, the talent that you guys have this year, does that kind of drive you to maybe want to do at least close to the same with this group this winter?
Yeah, it definitely does. And just how far we went in volleyball, and I know that we have a chance of making it just as far as we did there, and hopefully even farther.
Going to play at Parkland to continue your volleyball career. Kind of talk about that. That's obviously a really good program you're going to there with Coach Hastings and his staff. What do you think it'll be like to continue your next chapter of your life there at Parkland?
I'm super excited. They just won a national championship this year, and the year before all the other years they've been really successful too, and they have a really good program. And I'm just super excited to go play with some new girls and just continue playing volleyball too.
Favorite basketball memory at Metamora? Do you go back to Saturday, or does something else top it?
Saturday, and probably beating Morton both times.
I like that. Thanks for the time, KP.
Thank you.
All right, our player interviews continue with Katie Lalamandir. And Katie, the repeated question I've been asking is just the ride this program's been on from your freshman year to senior year, and even kind of seeing where it was before high school. What's that ride been like?
Well, because of Carrie, I've been watching this program for probably 10 years now. We used to come to their games, all their home games. So, yeah, I've definitely seen it from then to now. And, every season we're just getting more wins. And from my freshman year, that was a great group of girls. They had a lot of talent, and that's kind of where it started. They got their first 21 season, and then just from there it's been up, and it's been great.
Favorite basketball memory? Does Saturday top the list?
Oh, for sure.
I was going to say,
sure.
Because sometimes they fill out those senior questionnaires, and
yeah.
I feel like that kind of would have been redundant. Favorite basketball
yes.
memory? Just everybody says Saturday. Everybody
yes.
says Saturday.
Everything about Saturday.
What do you obviously it ends up just being one game on the schedule when you look at it bigger picture, but what do you think you all as a group will look back on from that game? Just the aspect of sweeping them, anything particular in the game, the atmosphere in the locker room, or is it all just kind of jumbled into one memory that you'll keep with you?
Definitely jumbled into one, but yeah, specifically like the nerves we all felt. Like you can just tell that everyone on that court, they wanted to be in that game, they wanted to be in this situation. We weren't scared, and that was just a really cool feeling to be a part of for sure.
What has it been like? You know, you talk about your sister having gone through this program. Now you're a senior. I'll go with a little bit of a more life question. Maybe you could tie it in as a basketball question. What would younger Katie sitting here at these games watching Carrie play, what do you think current Katie would tell that Katie?
Enjoy it. Just for the life aspects, it goes by fast, and we were just talking about it was just November. We were just in Ottawa at the Christmas tournament. We were just in Galesburg at the Thanksgiving tournament. Especially senior year, it flies, and I would just tell her, take it in. Don't take anything for granted, especially basketball.
All right, thanks for the time, Katie.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, back here post-game with head coach Kyle Wynath. And, Coach, one thing I think I want to ask right out of the gate looking at this game is, you know, it seemed like a little bit of a, I don't know about full-on sloppy start. That might be a little bit of an extreme word, but kind of maybe not our best basketball, like I said, pregame, and then we really kind of turned on the Jets. What was that turning on of the Jets, do you think?
You know, sometimes when you're playing a game and your normal routine is a little bit off, you know, in a game like tonight with senior night and things like that, sometimes you get a little jazzed up, you get a little ramped up, and I'm not going to say that was the case or not, but we definitely weren't maybe as sharp and as crisp as we'd like to be to start a game. But we went on that little run to close out the second quarter, I think it was, where we scored 6 or 8 in like a minute and a half. Really good execution on our sets during that time. Making an extra pass and getting the ball right where it needed to go at the right time and finishing, and then we got a couple in transition. And, you know, after that we kind of settled in, and then we kind of took off from there. So just a matter of kind of finding our groove, finding our rhythm a little bit, and, you know, as soon as that happened, you know, then it was go time.
Katie Ramage led the scoring tonight with 13 points, crosses over 600 for her career. The one thing I thought I've been really impressed with her game these last couple games is she got 2 tough fouls in the first half on Saturday, same thing tonight, but she had the discipline. Obviously, she ended up sitting the second quarter, but overall had the discipline to make sure that foul count stayed at 2. Kind of talk about that aspect of it.
Yeah, you know, I thought she got out to a great start tonight. She had 5 quick points there, hit a 3, and had another bucket. And we talked about on Saturday at Morton kind of the same deal, which was, you know, we don't need you to come back, and we talk about it with anybody that gets in foul trouble in terms of you don't have to come right back in and try to make up for lost time or try to, you know, put the weight on your shoulders. We just need you to come in, get in the flow of the game, you know, and make the next right plays, and that's what we've asked of everybody all year long, regardless of foul trouble or not. And so, you know, we just reminded her that coming in here in the third quarter. And just saying, hey, look, you know, come out here, get in the flow, get yourself going, get a couple touches, get other people involved. You know, she's done a great job of distributing here in the last few weeks and setting her teammates up. And the return of that is that her teammates, you know, coming right back and getting her the ball at times and in spots where she's a really productive scorer for us. And so, you know, if we can continue doing that, playing good team basketball and setting each other up that way, you know, it's a lot of fun to play, and hopefully we can continue to have some success.
Elena Redgate, maybe not normally in the starting lineup, but gets the senior night start and nearly in double figures and only 4 points shy of the game high as well. Kind of talk about her effort tonight.
You know, we've had throughout the year continuity with our starting lineup, but it goes back to the summer, and we said, you know what, it doesn't matter who starts, it doesn't matter who scores, it doesn't matter who plays a bunch of minutes or a little minutes, all those things. What we're doing is we're trying to find 5 people that can go out and accomplish what it is that we're trying to do. And, you know, so with some teams on a senior night, there might be, well, somebody's starting and they're not used to being in that role, and, you know, you never know what you're going to get. But there was no doubt in our mind in terms of what Elena was going to bring to the table for us, because we see it every day in practice, and we just know, like, hey, we've got the utmost confidence in her. And I thought she did a great job. And she's been a huge lift for us here these last few weeks. And, you know, she's defending well, and she gives us the ability to stretch the floor a little bit with another shooter. She got nice touch from the 3 and nice touch around the basket. You know, her versatility is huge for us as a group. You know, and she took advantage of the opportunity to start tonight. And, you know, it's not to say that, you know, she couldn't start again yet this year. You know what? But just a testament really to the depth that we have on our team. January
20th in Pekin, Zoe Korma had 7 points. Gracie Kaiser had 12. Tonight, Korma 3 points. You hold Kaiser completely scoreless. I'm sure that's something you're pretty proud out of your girls' efforts.
Yeah, tremendous effort. I think in the first quarter, what did we give up, 8? I think we gave up 8 in the first quarter, and you're sitting there, I do the math, and it's like, well, that puts us, close to 30 points for a game. And sometimes depending on a game, you give up 8 or 10 or 12 in a quarter, and we start thinking, man, we're giving up too many. And so they got 8, and then they finished with 17? No, they finished with 23. We held them to a 6-point fourth quarter, a 4-point third quarter, 5-point. We just kind of dialed in and buckled down. But definitely a concerted effort on 30 and 10, trying to do the best we could to make their lives difficult. And, once again, Alyssa's been huge. We talked about it in the pregame just in terms of what she brings to our team, but her ability to just step in and try to take it as a challenge to lock down the other team's best offensive player. This was another display of, just how tough she can be to score on.
Normally, I'd ask you what you would like to carry into the next game. Thursday, you may as well postpone that right now based on the weather we're supposed to get.
I hope not.
Obviously, we hope that happens. But I'll kind of twist this and ask a little bit of a fun question. I don't normally do these too often with you. But obviously, being a parent and all, and maybe just as an individual, what would be your favorite snowed-in activity? Either just a movie or something with the kids, or what would be your favorite snowed-in activity?
Man, before kids, it was probably making a full-blown breakfast from scratch, so like pancakes and all that. Now with having kids, it'll probably be, if it's decent enough weather, Eli loves to get out in the snow, and Lil will get out in the snow and hang for a little bit. So it'll probably be maybe getting out in the snow with a sled, even though I told the players no sledding, no skiing, no snowboarding. But we'll try to get the kids out, maybe do a little sledding, maybe run around to the backyard a little bit. So that'll probably be maybe what tomorrow holds.
Don't want to see any snow equipment on the injury report.
That's right. We're trying to do the best we can to stay as healthy as we can here down the stretch. And it's not that we don't want them to enjoy their day off. I hope they do, but think of it more as a rest and recovery day as opposed to a let's get out on Lord's Hill type of day.
No doubt about that. It certainly would be tempting. And I'll ask you one final question here. How do you kind of attack that as a coach when there's so much uncertainty or maybe even unlikelihood of the Limestone game happening on Thursday? God forbid we aren't able to play Canton on Saturday. We really got hit bad if we don't play Canton on Saturday.
Yeah.
But kind of talk about how you coach a team through that uncertainty of not knowing when the next game is, and maybe at-home workouts or that type of thing when you have this kind of home restrictiveness because of the weather.
Yeah. Tomorrow, depending on what the weather allows, if the weather allows, and it's obviously safety for the players and everybody involved first and foremost. But if the roads are cleared or something by the afternoon, and it's looking like there's maybe a chance to get to the gym, we'll maybe try to figure something out. But obviously, that all depends a little bit on administratively what we're allowed to do. In Thursday, I think we're at a point in our season where, playing Thursday is the number one priority is to try to keep it. I don't know what.
Because then you force a 3-way tie with Morton and Washington if you win on Thursday, too.
Okay, nice. And so we're going to try to play it because we're running out of dates, really, when you start looking at postseason, because some of the teams that we potentially have yet to play on our schedule might be in a playing game on the following Saturday. And so you start looking at they're going to be prepping for postseason, and then we're hosting a sophomore tournament here. And so you've got, sophomore players that would be pulled in different directions. So everything that we're going to try to do is to be ready to play it on Thursday. Obviously, contingency plan would be, trying to play it on Friday. Worst case scenario, it could move to the following, Monday or Wednesday, I guess. But from all discussions we've had up to this point, it's going to be to try to get that thing in on Thursday so that it doesn't start to create too much of a log jam. There's still the uncertainty of, will another game get postponed, whether it's weather, whether it's COVID, whatever the case might be. So we're going to do everything we can, but we'll cross that bridge. We just got to be adaptable. Kind of like our game time tonight. It was a little fluid yesterday throughout the day, figuring out what the game times were going to be for today to try to get the game in. And, we just adapt and adjust on the fly. We try to, whatever it is that comes up, we try to stay not too high on the highs, not too low on the lows, and we get ready for a game. And if we got to shift it, we try to make sure we can adapt and adjust as best we can.
20 wins, 1 win closer to a potential Mid-Illini title, and we'll see where we can take it from there. Thanks for the time,
Alex.
Coach.
Yep, appreciate it.